Here are two numbers worth sitting with. A 2026 Intuit Financial Wellness Survey found that 76% of people expect their finances to improve this year. At the same time, the National Endowment for Financial Education reported that 88% are financially stressed right now. Read those numbers again. They cannot both be true, unless one of them is a lie. Here is the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to hear. Optimism is the most dangerous emotion you can have about your money. It feels productive. It is not. It feels like progress. It is the opposite of progress. Hope is what your brain gives you when you do not have a plan. It is a substitute for action. And the longer you carry it, the more years it quietly steals from you. In the next 10 minutes, I will show you 3 things. Why hope keeps you broke, what wealthy people actually do instead, and the 3 replacements that move the needle. Stay with me. Section 1. The Hope Gap. Let me ask you something. What is your money goal for next year? Maybe you said, save more, pay off debt, start investing, build an emergency fund, buy a home eventually. Now answer this. How much? By when? Using what? If you cannot answer that in one sentence, you do not have a goal. You have a wish, and a wish is just hope wearing a costume. Here is what I call the hope gap. It is the distance between what you believe will happen and what you have actually scheduled to happen. Most people live their entire financial life inside that gap. They believe things will get better. They have not booked a single appointment with the future. Look at your last 5 years. The you from 2021 also said next year. So did the you from 2022 and 2023 and 2024. Each version of you was certain things would improve. Each version was wrong. Why? Because nothing changed structurally. The hope changed nothing. That is the cruelty of optimism. It feels indistinguishable from progress while you are inside it. You wake up feeling like you are doing something. You go to bed feeling like tomorrow will fix it. 5 years pass. The bank account looks identical. Hope is not motivation. Hope is the absence of a system, dressed up to look like one. And here is what nobody will tell you. The reason most people stay broke is not lack of intelligence. It is not laziness. It is not even bad luck. It is that they confused feeling optimistic with being on track. Those are not the same thing. They are barely related. Section 2. Your brain is not on your side. Now here is where it gets dark. Your brain is not on your side here. When you imagine a better financial future, your brain releases dopamine. The same dopamine you would get from actually achieving it. That is not a metaphor. That is neuroscience. Picture this. You are lying in bed at 11 p.m. scrolling through a real estate app, or doing the math on what your portfolio might be worth in 10 years, or planning the side hustle that will change everything. Your brain treats that thinking like an accomplishment. You feel rewarded. You feel productive. You feel like you did something. You did nothing. You imagined something. This is why broke people daydream more than wealthy people. They have to. The daydream is the only paycheck their brain receives, so they keep going back to it again and again like a slot machine that pays in feelings instead of dollars. And here is the trap inside the trap. The more you imagine the future, the less energy you have to chase it, because your brain has already cashed the reward. The motivation is gone. The fantasy ate it. This is why people who talk constantly about their goals rarely hit them. They are not lying. They are getting paid in advance, emotionally, for outcomes they will never produce. Look at the people you know who actually built real wealth. Did they tell you their plans? Probably not until the plan was already working. Why? Because they figured out, consciously or not, that talking about it burns the fuel they need to do it. Hope is fuel, imagination is fuel, but you only have so much. Spend it on dreaming, and there is none left for building. Section 3. The wealthy don't hope, they engineer. Now here is where most people completely get this wrong. They think wealthy people are just more optimistic, more positive, More believing. The opposite is true. Wealthy people are the most pessimistic optimists you will ever meet. They believe they can build wealth. They assume nothing will go right by default, so they build a system that works even when reality fights back. Here is how they think. Hope is treated as raw data, not an emotion. They take the feeling of things will get better and immediately convert it into a question. By when? By how much? Through what mechanism? A normal person says, I want to be financially free. A wealthy person says, I need $800,000 producing 5% yields by age 55. That requires saving X per month at Y return. That requires raising my income from A to B by next year, which requires this specific move this quarter. See the difference? The first is hope. The second is engineering. Engineering does not care how you feel. It does not care if you are motivated today. It does not need a vision board. It runs whether you are excited or exhausted. And here is the real reveal. Wealthy people are not more disciplined than you. They have just outsourced the discipline to a system. Automatic transfers, pre-scheduled investments, income raises mapped to the calendar. The system does the work their motivation cannot. Most people try to motivate themselves into wealth. It does not work. Motivation is a battery. Systems are an outlet. You will lose every time you rely on the battery alone. The wealthy stopped relying on hope a long time ago. They replaced it with infrastructure. Section 4, the 3 replacements. Here is exactly how to replace hope with infrastructure. 3 pieces. None of them require more income or special skills. First, a number. Not a feeling. Not more. A specific dollar figure that means something. How much do you need invested to be free? Most people have no idea. They have never done the math. So pick a target this week. Even a wrong target beats no target. 25 times your annual expenses is a starting point most use. Second, a date. Pick the year you want to be there. Yes, the actual year, 2033, 2036, whatever it is. The date is what converts a wish into a deadline, and deadlines do something dreams cannot. They force decisions in the present. Third, a lever. This is the one most people skip. A lever is the one variable you can move this quarter that pulls the date closer. Higher income, higher savings rate, higher returns. You do not need all 3. You need to pick one and pull it hard for 90 days. That is it. A number, a date, a lever. Notice what is missing from that list. Motivation, vision boards, manifestation, affirmations, hope, optimism. None of these are required. They might feel nice. They produce nothing. Watch what happens when you do this. The vague feeling of things will get better disappears. It is replaced by something colder, sharper, and infinitely more powerful. Clarity. You know exactly where you are, exactly where you are going, and exactly which lever to pull this quarter. That is when wealth stops being a hope and starts being a project. And projects get finished. Here is the truth. One more time, optimism feels good. It builds nothing. The reason you are not where you want to be financially, it has very little to do with how hard you work or how smart you are. It has everything to do with whether you have replaced hope with a system. You do not need more motivation. You need a number, a date, and a lever. Pick them this week. Today, if you can. Stop telling yourself things will get better. Start telling yourself exactly when, by how much, and through what move. The version of you 5 years from now is being decided this quarter. Not by your hope, by your infrastructure. Build it now, or wait another year wondering why nothing changed. If this hit you, hit subscribe. Next video, we go deeper. See you there.